Good morning. Kate here, bringing you this week's Monday Mission. And this is number 51. So we're almost at a year of missions. I can't even believe it. So this week, we're going to talk about questions we can ask our brain to redirect it. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what our brains do, how we can recognize it, and then what we can do instead to get to a more productive answer or action that serves us more. Okay, so it's called What If It Isn't a Problem, right? So I'm going to share how this comes up for us and how to use that tool. As always, we'll have a journal prompt for you to utilize and kind of work on your own thoughts throughout the week. So let's get started. All right, so when we have a thought, our brain automatically believes that thought, right? And it often turns it into a problem. It makes it a problem, right? And then that leads to feelings of helplessness, anxiety, worry, right? It leads to feelings that we don't really want to have. They don't really serve us. So what I want to offer is that what if instead of that happening, right, our brain offers us a thought, it believes it to be completely true, and it makes it into a problem. What if instead we notice the thought and ask ourselves, what if this isn't a problem? And see where that leads our brain, okay? So I'll give you some examples here in a minute, but I want you to think of our brains as sort of like news reporters, okay? Or you know that like ticking line that goes along the bottom of the news feed, right? So what happens is our brain offers thoughts just like they're listing, you know, the ticker on the bottom of the screen. They offer us our thoughts just as if they're reporting the news, and then we end up saying these thoughts as if they're just the news. We're just reporting, just the facts, ma'am, right? We're just reporting the news, right? And when we have a thought over and over and over again, we start to believe it, right? So a belief is simply a thought that has been repeated, okay? This is why our thoughts feel so true, right? They feel so realistic. They feel like a fact. They feel like we are just reporting the news. This is just how it is, right? This is just the way that it is. That is why it feels so true to us. So I've mentioned in several videos before where we have a situation, right? Something happens and we have thoughts about that situation. The thoughts are the things that we can change and that we can choose, we can reframe, we can let go of, right? But when we have those thoughts over and over again to the point where they are the belief, to the point where they feel like we are just reporting the news, we actually think our thoughts are the situation. That's how true they feel to us, right? And so that's the work, right? That's looking at the thought, really examining it, seeing if it's actually true, challenging it, right? And one of the ways to do this is to understand that a situation, or when something happens, it is neutral. It's not good or bad. It is just the facts, right? It could be proven in a court of law. This thing happened, right? Our thoughts are what, when we have them over and over again, become so strong that we think that they're fact. Okay, so let me give you some examples. Let's say that your kid does not turn in their homework, right? They've missed a few homework assignments. We think, okay, or one of the stories that we tell ourselves, or some of the thoughts that we might have about that is, they're going to get a bad grade. Oh my God. And then they're going to fail. And they're not going to graduate school. They're not going to be able to get a job. And they're going to be living in my basement forever. Right? That's where our brain can go from the fact, which is my kid didn't turn in their homework, right? But all those other thoughts that we have about it, those worries, those fears, when we repeatedly think them, we think those are the facts. And that's the news. We're just reporting the news. This is exactly what's going to happen, right? Your kid's in 3rd grade and didn't turn in a homework assignment, and you immediately have them living in your basement. But it feels so true and real, right? So another example, my husband got mad at something that my mother said. Okay, that's a situation, right? My husband and mother disagreed. Okay, that's the situation. But our brains go to, oh my God, now they can't be in the same room with each other what are we going to do for holidays? We have so-and-so's birthday next week. What's it? I have to fix this, right? I have to get involved. I have to make them change. I have to make them work it out and figure it out, right? That's where our brain goes. We start to think this is facts. These are facts. We are just reporting the news. This is exactly how it is, right? So they disagree about something, and we automatically have it now that we're not going to be able to have holidays together, right? See how the brain jumps? Okay, let's do another one. Your coworker looked you up and down at work. You know that situation, right? When someone just gives you the once over, right? Okay. Again, this is neutral. Your coworker looked at you. Okay. Our brain goes to, oh my God, I knew I shouldn't have worn this. I knew I'm too old for this. It shows off my stomach way too much. I should go home and change. I can't wear this again. Right? So again, a neutral, very neutral situation, something that happened. We immediately go to, now I can't ever wear this again. Right? So I'm sure you relate to these, right? We all do this. This is just the human brain. It's just how our brains work, right? So welcome to being a human, okay? But you can also recognize that this does not serve us to think along these lines, right? So one of the tools I really like to use is this question of, what if this isn't a problem? Okay? So understand that your brain kind of automatically makes things into a problem. Challenge it. What if this isn't a problem? Okay? So let's try it with the examples that we gave. Okay? So the first one is the missing homework assignment. And you would challenge that and ask yourself, what if a missing homework assignment doesn't lead to them living in my basement? Right? What if my son missing his homework assignment isn't a problem? Okay, where does your brain go, right? It might just go to, yeah, that happens. Oh, I missed a couple homework assignments when I was his age, right? We can make it. If they have, they have time built into their day where they can make it up. He can do it that day, right? Your brain just goes to a much better place, right? And where it's able to kind of think and problem solve and be logical, and right, the thinking part of our brain, we're out of the brainimal, right? And it's just much more productive, and it feels better, right? It feels better to go along those lines of thinking rather than automatically assuming that it's a problem that we have to solve, okay? So let's do with the second example. What if your husband and mother are allowed to disagree? What if it's not a problem that they disagreed about something? Let's go even further to say one of them insulted the other one. What if that's not a problem? What if they are adults that are allowed to disagree and say and do whatever they want? Because, spoiler alert, they are, right? You don't have to make it mean anything about you, or that you have to fix this, or that we're not going to be able to have Christmas together, right? What if it's not a problem? What if they can work it out on their own? Right? Just ask yourself these questions. I don't know the answers for you in that specific example, or whatever example you might be thinking of in your mind as I'm talking about this, but what if it's not a problem? Right? All right, and the last one, what if your coworker actually wished that they had the outfit that you had on, right? What if they are kind of insecure about themselves and wish that they looked like you did in your outfit? Right? They're thinking about their own insecurities and like, oh gosh, I could never wear that because it would show this and it would do that, and right? Them looking at you, you have no idea what that means. So why would you choose to make it mean something that feels horrible? You have no idea what it means. What if it's not a problem that they looked at you and they looked at your outfit, right? Okay, so just challenge these thoughts as they come up. They are not the news. They are not facts. Right? They are just offered to your brain. You know that our brain is automatically going to think that they're true, and our brain is automatically going to turn them into a problem. What if we challenge it and say, what if this isn't a problem? What if I don't have to fix this? What if this doesn't have to mean this thing? Right? Okay, so that is your mission should you choose to accept it. is to challenge your thoughts, right? Recognize that they are not the news. They are not facts, right? It's not the ticker on the bottom of the screen, okay? It's not the absolute truth. Your brain is going to offer you all kinds of thoughts. And the way that you can challenge it, and that's your mission, is to say, what if this isn't a problem? And see what your brain comes up with, okay? And our journal prompt for this week is to take a thought that you think is absolute 1000% fact, right? It's take a thought that you think is just so true that it can't be challenged, and ask yourself, what if this isn't a problem? All right, and just see what you come up with, okay? And this just gets you into the habit of challenging your thoughts, seeing that they're there and then challenging them, right? Because we can do that. We can challenge them. We can choose different ones. We can choose not to think certain ones. We can choose different ones to think. Okay. All right. So as usual, anything that comes up with you, share with me, reach out, and I hope you're having a great week, and we'll talk soon. Bye.